Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another concert review. Feels like we haven't done one of these in a while. Maybe it's because I haven't been to a show in a while. I don't know, whatever. But we all went to a very cool show just a couple days ago. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But let me introduce everybody here. We've got Mr. Jack Toledano is here from All or Not According to Jack and all sorts of fun things here on the channel. Craig Kaminski from the Hudson Valley Squares and Monsters Den. And Mr. Rich Catino in the house as well
Hello.
from SOT and the Metal Hall of Fame and Brave Words and Bloody Knuckles and Metal Asylum and all sorts of other stuff. Rich is
And
like,
now our new segment, our new topic, the new wave of traditional heavy metal.
that's
Little
right, the
plug
primer
here.
show that we're doing here. That's right.
Primers. Yeah.
We just did our brand new first episode of that just a week ago. So if you are watching here and you have not seen that, go check it out. We talk about some really cool bands, and we're going to continue to talk about some really cool younger bands who are playing this new style of heavy metal, which actually kind of looks back at the great stuff of the 80s, right? In fact, one of the bands we're going to talk
Actually,
about.
good segue.
Exactly. One of the bands we're
First
going to
band.
talk about tonight, who
Right.
opened the show we saw the other night, is one of those such bands.
Yep.
We're going to review the whole show we saw at the Starland Ballroom in Sayreville, New Jersey on Friday night, the 22nd of March. Burning Witches, L.A.Guns, and KK's Priest. There we go. This is the brand new KK's Priest album. The Sinner Rides Again. That's the headline and show. Pretty damn good concert all around, guys, right? It was a pretty packed show at Starland Ballroom. Cold night out, but hot music happening inside.
Place
So
was packed.
yeah, well, let's start off from the beginning. I had only heard little bits here and there of Burning Witches. Of course, they're signed to Napalm Records. They're a Swiss band, all Swiss members, with the exception of brand new guitar player Courtney Cox, who is American. Of course, she has been in the Iron Maidens for many, many years. I think, Rich, she joined Burning Witches, what, about a year ago, I think? Sometime
I
last year?
think I'm actually looking that up right now.
I don't even know if she was on the last album because they put out an album last year. I'm not even sure if was she on
Yeah,
that?
the Dark Tower. I'm looking. I'm seeing if she was on that. Let's see.
They were great, by the way. Well, Rich is looking that up.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep
Really
going.
good
Yeah.
stage presence. Their lead singer, who we spoke to after the show, and I forget her name, is a dynamo. I mean, she is really good. She's got a terrific voice. She looks great, and she's like all over the stage and just gets the crowd pumping. They got two guitar players, bass player, drummer, and vocals. And I mean, they're perfect for this tour because they sound like kind of classic Priest. I don't know. Can you guys think of any other bands that they maybe?
Warlock. A lot of Warlock. Old Warlock.
Yep, a little bit of
kind
Warlock.
of power metal-y in some parts with their medleys.
Yeah,
Very energetic, and like you said, a lot of movement. They switched. They were not static. I mean, they moved. All the four ladies in the front moved all over the place, and
And
got
they
the
were
crowd
great
involved.
players. Yeah.
really good
Yeah.
players. Yeah.
And I was taking pictures in the photo pit, and it was tough to photograph. I got some good shots, but I got a lot of blurry ones.
They were just moving around
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah, and Courtney joined last year, so it's been a year.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, and I think that by like their third song, I think they completely won the crowd over. And to me, it seemed like, because they played what, about 45 minutes, I think, roughly.
35,
30, 35. Yeah.
Okay.
6 songs. They played 6 songs.
Yeah. It seemed like by the middle of their set, people were totally into it. And then when they were done, I got the impression that people could have definitely stayed for another couple songs, if they would have allowed it. So yeah, overall, I think they're really good. Any other observations about their set, guys? I thought all good, really good songs. I actually went out and ordered a bunch of their CDs from the catalog. I was that impressed, and
Which they have 5 out.
yeah,
With the Dark Tower's the newest one.
yep,
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, definitely got the crowd involved and had some charisma and presence. I mean, it's tough to be the first band starting, and all ladies too. I mean, it's a tough crowd to win over, especially a lot of people like me who had not heard them before. So they had a tall task to order, but I think they achieved it. They were very well received by the crowd.
and not a surprise. They announced.
Right.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's even
Right
better.
after they got done, they're like, "Oh, we'll be at the merch booth after our set," and then like we went over there to go meet them, and the line was like, of course, you got a pretty, I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
What 90% of the people at the show were all men, so
Right.
not surprised. I think they won them over. So
Pete and I each got individual pictures with the lead singer. Again, Laura's her name. I don't know her last name, but uh, I had heard their album Dark Tower prior to this show, so I had at least that. So, but
Mhm.
they first to second song they won me over. They were really tight and good.
yeah, I
Very
think they were a
impressed.
great fit for the tour. Really great fit for the tour.
Yeah.
So next up we had L.A.Guns. I'm not all that familiar with a lot of their music, so this for me, this is the first time I've ever seen them. And Rich, so we've got what, two original guys in the band, right? So we got
Yeah, Tracy Guns and Phil Lewis, and then the other guys. I think there's been different members here and there over the years, but I think the new lineup's the most consistent. And they have what's the latest album? I'm just looking at their set list.
Oh, I forgot.
Maybe Black Diamonds is the most recent one. I got to look that up. But they did one from that one, and then one from the other three newer albums too. So two. I mean two. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it was like half, old stuff from the first two albums, and then one from Hollywood Vampires, and then a couple new ones.
seemed like they probably on purpose tried to pick a lot of their heavier stuff for this audience, I think, which was probably a good idea.
Well, and
Yeah.
that and from knowing their classic materials, I think Rich can concur with me on this. They heavied those songs up even more
Yeah.
so. They played them faster and
Uh-huh.
they put a little bit more crunch, I think, into them. They had the tempos going a little bit faster, and I think they had probably the most to prove, I think, out of the bands, because I think on paper a lot of people were saying, "What's L.A. Guns doing here?"
That was my first
And
impression. Yeah.
yeah,
You know what?
and
Right,
I think they kind of won the crowd over too by the time that they were done, because they had some familiar songs, or at least a few familiar songs, I think, that even casual fans would know. And I think that, like I said, they toughened up their sound for the show, and I think that to their credit, I think they played pretty well.
And they did the one
Well,
ballad, right? They did play.
yeah, just Ballad of Jane.
Ballad of Jane, yeah, which the crowd sung along to. You could tell Phil loved that. I mean, the song's what, 35 years old now,
Yeah.
and people still know the words of that. So that's always kind of cool for the writer and the singer, that people can give it back to them like that.
Yeah.
I
We'll give
remember
Tracy credit. Go ahead,
oh,
Jack.
I'm sorry. Midway
Yeah.
through the set, all of a sudden they started playing the beginning of Hell's Bells, and I turned to Pete, I'm like, "Oh, there! I finally know something."
Yeah, that was before Never Enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Greg, you were saying they sounded heavier, but like we've always said, those bands, the hair bands, they're all heavier live. It's not
Yeah.
you're not overproduced in the studio on an album. You're live. So all these bands, they're not much different than KK's Priest or Burning Witches. It's all it's all in the family when they get on the stage.
Yeah, I just think that it's like when you're sandwiched in between two, double
Yeah.
bass bands, and
True.
they're like out there screaming up a storm and everything, and the middle band is more known for not being as heavy,
A
that
little
they've
more
got to
melodic.
kind of
Yeah.
up their game a little bit. And
Sure.
generally, I think that they did. I was glad to hear the songs from their first two albums, the ones that they picked in the limited amount of time that they had. Those are great songs that I love hearing.
Good double guitar attack. I thought was pretty good. The guitar playing was really good. My brother at one point, he looks over at me and he goes, "Kind of cool to see someone up there in a band like this playing a Gibson SG." And I'm like, "Yeah, isn't that cool?"
Yeah.
He goes, "I only ever see Tony Iommi playing SGs. I never see anybody playing SGs." I'm like, "Yeah, it's an underutilized, I think, hard rock and metal guitar." But Tracy was, he was laying down some cool riffs and solos, which is cool. As dog hair goes flying by me from my husky, it's like sitting here all of a sudden, it's like floating across the. So yeah, overall, good set. I thought good set. The crowd was into it, and that's the important thing. So, Headliners, KK's Priest. Everybody was really looking forward to this. And I think it's interesting because we've got, for the first time ever, we've got two tours almost happening simultaneously, where you got the main band and then the offshoot band. So I would think KK's band has a lot to prove, right? That they can pull it off on a live stage. And knowing full well that a lot of fans are going to go see them, and then in just a few short weeks go see Priest, right? So there's going to be these comparisons very, very soon about how these sets were and how they compared to each other. I will say, and I think all of us kind of said it that night, Priest has really got to be on their A game, because that was a really great set the other night. Really
No
great set.
question. No question at all. It's
Yeah.
funny. So I had told a bunch of people that I was going to the show, and a couple of people, they're like, "Oh, is that like a cover band for Priest?" I'm like, "No, it is not a cover band. It is the former guitarist of Judas Priest who left the band and finally decided to start up his own band. And for some instant credibility, he brought in lead singer Tim Ripper Owens, who I think, and people can make the comparisons all they want, but here he is. He's 20 years younger than Rob Halford, and he can really belt it out. There are those that say he doesn't have any feel. I don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree either.
He doesn't have what? He doesn't.
Emotion or feel. Yeah.
His
Oh,
range is ridiculous.
Yeah.
yeah.
Off the
Yeah.
I
charts.
mean, if you want to see him put feel into the songs, just I uploaded two of their concert videos. Check out Beyond the Realms of Death, that I put up just yesterday. There's plenty of feel, and yeah,
And Victim of Changes too.
Yeah.
I didn't record that one, but yes.
Yeah,
And,
every song, I mean, he was screaming up a storm. I mean, it was pretty surprising. I mean, I haven't seen him live since I saw both the Judas Priest tours that he for the two albums that he did.
Okay.
And so it's been, 22 years or something, or 23 since
26 for me.
I haven't seen him since Iced Earth, and I saw him also do his solo. He had that solo band going there for a while. I forget what they were called. Beyond Fear, I think they were called.
Beyond Fear.
Fear,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
yes.
What was the
song
last
on that?
Priest album he was on? Demolition was 90.
2001.
Well,
1. Okay.
Jugulator was 97 or 98.
Yeah.
And I saw him in Halloween of 98. That was their last date on that tour before they headed back to England. And then Demolition was what, 2001, 2002?
Yeah.
I just remember they made us wait a long time for that record, and I was disappointed, but not because of Ripper, but just the overall album.
But I think because like casual fans though, maybe they would be aware that he was in Iced Earth, but beyond that, I mean, it's been many years. He's done an album here, an album that for lots of different projects. So I think a lot of people maybe heard him with fresh ears, and like me, like hadn't heard him. I mean, I know what he's been doing, but haven't heard him for many, many years. And it's like, holy shit. I mean, he is really hitting those high notes and sustaining them and everything. It was very impressive.
Yeah, I would think even on the two KK's pre-studio albums, I'm completely blown away with his voice in the studio.
Yeah.
And again, I've heard, he did those two albums with Yngwie Malmsteen. He did the Iced Earth album. He's done various. He did the Spirits of Fire with Chris Caffrey, right?
Three Tremors.
Three Tremor, right? But I don't think he was as impressive on any of that stuff like he is in this band. And then, like, I was completely blown away by him the other night. He didn't crack none of those screams or anything he did the other. There was nothing was off at all.
Oh.
Nothing.
And that last scream in Victim of Changes, he held that note
forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
It was. I was speechless when I heard him.
So here's a question, guys. Why is it that all these Priest fans put him down? Is it that they view him as a threat to Rob Halford?
Anytime you get a guy who replaces a legend, you're going to get that.
Right. Right.
The only I mean, vocally, I think he was, superb and everything. And only nitpicking, I don't know, but the only criticism I would think is he doesn't have, I don't think he has very much of a stage presence. I think he kind of, he doesn't really, I don't know. It's kind of, he's almost kind of awkward. I mean, vocally, it's great. Close your eyes and listen, and it's great. But when you watch him, he he's doing some of like the same moves that he was doing like in the '90s. It's like where he's like shadow boxing and some of his between song banter. It's like, wait, I remember this shit from 1998, or whatever. But so that would be my only real
Do you
criticism.
think maybe because yeah, I mean, I totally see that. Do you think maybe because, and this is probably why his voice is held up so well, do you think because he's not one of those guys who's on the road for months on end, year in, year out, that he just doesn't have still enough stage experience? I mean, he's done plenty of live shows, but
That's
it's almost like
possible.
he's never really developed that kind of live on stage shtick that most singers have. But to his success, without all those years and miles on the road, his voice is held up amazingly.
It's terrific.
Right?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
honestly, if you look at Priest now, the last couple of times I've seen them, Rob has barely had any on stage banter with the crowd.
yeah,
After about the second or third song, he'd say, "Hi, how you doing?" And
Yeah,
uh,
the
uh,
priest is back.
yeah, 10,000 metal maniacs out there, and
Yeah.
that's it.
we've got 10,000 heavy metal maniacs. Yeah, that's it.
He's
And
got a
then he
lot of
doesn't
singing to
talk to
do.
the crowd for the rest of the night. Instead, they have Scott Travis talk to the
Yeah,
crowd at the end, which
that's true.
I'll tell you that I find that a little disappointing to me. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. All right, so why don't we run through the set list? Who's got
Sure.
anything to hear?
I have it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so lights go out. That demon comes up and starts speaking his incarnation.
Yeah.
They break into Hellfire, which Hellfire Thunderbolt, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
One more shot at glory.
Wait, hold on, Jack. The crowd, when I was up there taking pictures, I could hear them actually singing it back to them. They knew that one really well.
Oh yeah, well that would include me. Yeah, I was like
Awesome.
pumping.
They had some smoke machines, which visually was pretty cool.
Yeah, they did that. A lot of it was time too, which was really cool for parts of different
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the band moved around a lot. KK, I mean, people are there to see KK and 1A and Ripper, maybe 1C. So everybody wants to see KK Downing. I mean, that's what you're there for.
Yeah.
He walked around a lot and went right out into the crowd. Right
Up and
close
down.
up and was
Yep.
getting people to sing along and everything. So he did a really good job.
And I got to thank Rich for leading me down there. And he left me right in the corner of the stage.
Oh
there.
yeah.
It was awesome. I was right by KK a lot, so I was able to get some good pictures. And these
Cool, man.
two friendly ladies in front of me, they're like, "Oh, don't bother, squish in." And you know what? I'm trying to be a gentleman. I don't want to encroach on their space, but of course the people behind me didn't care.
Just say you're with Rich Catino, and the crowd will part. As soon as you.
And Rich, I don't know if you know this, but I recorded the Ripper, and and I posted it, and a couple people commented they recognized you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, saw you.
Oh, I didn't know you recorded that one. I thought you got Beyond the Realms and something else.
The Ripper. Yes, I got the Ripper.
Okay.
But the Ripper, I got portrait instead of landscape. Stupid me, but at least it's there.
Yeah.
There you go.
But,
There you go.
okay, so after Hellfire Thunderbolt, one more shot at glory.
That was great. That
Yeah.
was so good live. Yeah.
Mhm.
A
Excellent.
lot of chance for that one. That's off the new album.
Yep.
Then they went into the Ripper. I missed where he said, "What's my name?" But then I got immediately after that. Very cool. Reap the Whirlwind, another great tune off the new album. Then they went into they covered a lot of Priest, but I like the selection of Priest that they covered. They did Nightcrawler.
That's one of the
think
ones I
there's-
was waiting for. That made my night. That one and the
Yeah.
next. That one and the next one.
Burn in Hell off of Jugulator, great.
Yeah.
And then of course, the demon comes on again, starts going into this incantation for about another 30 seconds, and then they went into Beyond the Realms of Death, which I recorded. Amazing.
Yeah.
Crowd was singing out a lot too.
Unfortunately, AJ Mills was facing the wrong way, so I didn't get to see his pick work, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but you know what? He killed it.
Yeah.
He,
Good player, really good player.
yeah. And then of course KK did the outro at the end, which was very cool. Then another Priest cover, Hell Patrol off of Painkiller.
Mhm.
Brothers of the Road from the first album. Green Manalishi, something everybody knows.
That's one of the overlaps that Priest also do.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I had a bathroom break during Breaking the Law. I mean, I don't need to ever hear that again, but I guess the casual fan wants to hear it. So
Yeah, yeah.
that
Everybody
was,
was into it.
And KK has a solo on that now since I mean, the studio version doesn't really have a solo, but
right.
for years when they do that live, that's a KK solo. So I figure they got to throw that one in.
But then KK saved his best solo for Victim of Change as their finale. He went
Which
into
I
that.
don't think Priest are doing it. I'm looking at their set list right now and I haven't seen it in there.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a good chance for KK to bring it back. Yeah. But yeah, he went into a pronounced like 2 or 3 minute solo, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know KK could play that good, which begs the question, maybe he should have gotten more of the leads back in the day, but
Well,
Mhm.
read his book. You knew
Well,
that there was some contention there, right? So
oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Priest did do it March 11th, so they are swapping stuff out. So they're doing Victim of
Okay.
Changes
okay.
sometimes too. Yep.
Yeah, but of course, and as you mentioned, Ripper with that extended at the very end was so cool.
Mhm.
He really did well with that. And then of course the encore, one encore, 2 songs, Strike of the Viper, which is one of my favorite songs off of
The new album.
album, Sinner Rides Again. And then they ended it with Raise Your Fists, getting everybody to pump their fists up. But overall, about an hour and 15-minute set, but they killed it. They were just fantastic.
I give them credit for doing those 2 songs last as the encore and not just doing the safe thing and doing like Living After
Priest
Midnight or
song.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Strike of the Viper was a very good choice.
Oh, hell yeah.
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 But one thing I was surprised that a Priest song that they didn't play, which would seem obvious, Sinner. I mean, they got 2, both their albums are,
Yeah.
Return of the Sinner, Sinner Rides Again, and to my understanding, Sinner was always a KK showcase for him to,
Yeah.
doing all the solos for that. So that's a surprise that they weren't doing that one instead of maybe Hell Patrol or something like that.
Right. Well, Sinner's like a 7-minute song, so maybe that had something to do with it. And they,
Not like it's a long set to begin with, right? So
right, yeah,
Maybe they'll swap.
they were done what by 11 o'clock on the dot.
11 o'clock on the dot. Yeah, yep. I was actually surprised. So I had seen the Baltimore show that somebody recorded the whole show and put it up on YouTube. So earlier in the week, I was doing some prep for my other show where I talked about Invincible Shield versus Sinner Rides Again. And as an added prep, I put that show on. And yeah, I mean, it was basically song for song with this show. But I was a little surprised when I saw that the length of the video was an hour and 16 minutes. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But now you can understand why, giving L.A.Guns and Burning Witches enough time on stage. So
Yeah, it seems to be the norm nowadays, right? A lot of these kind of older bands, especially playing a place like that size, and you have more than 2 bands. You'd be lucky if you get an hour and a half out of any of these bands at this point,
right, yeah.
unfortunately. But
you know what? It left us all leaving wanting more. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll be back. That was a big crowd, so they'll be back. I'm sure the tour's doing really well.
Yeah, no, I was very happily surprised to see how many people were there. It's I know they sold out a bunch in Florida. I think I heard they sold out the show in Illinois. Uh, I heard I don't know, Cleveland and Buffalo were close to sellouts. This one as well.
Yeah, this one, I think days leading up to it, if you went to check tickets, they said plenty of tickets are available, but I got the impression a lot of people were just doing walk-up ticket
Yeah.
sales, right? Just buying them at the door because, when we first got there, the place was like half empty. And then by the time like L.A.Guns came on, it was pretty packed. And then
Oh
for
yeah,
KK, it was,
that looked close to a sellout to me. And yeah,
It
you
was
know what?
full, but it
And
was
for-
full, but not like you can't move full.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all around good stuff. I thought it was a really good show. I enjoyed it. And, I think KK and company should feel proud of how well they've been playing here.
Absolutely.
Because, as a first time playing here in the States, I think people
Went
would
over
love to
This
have them
goes
come
to
back.
show you that he still has his fans. He still has his following.
Yep.
And maybe depending
I'm
on the
proud of them
market,
for that.
maybe now that, when he's going through, depending on the market, they can play a larger place in certain cities, I'm sure,
Yeah.
seeing that the want is there for people to hear these songs. So that's cool.
Yep. Absolutely. Cool.
Or do multiple nights in certain places. Like there was like at least 2 or 3 Florida shows sold out.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see next time, right? Because I mean, they cranked out these 2 studio albums fairly quickly, and close to each other. So you have to wonder if they've already got stuff they've been writing. So maybe we'll see another one
Hopefully.
next year, and then they'll come back over again. So
But yeah, again, it's a crapshoot as far as opinions. I mean, some people absolutely love it, like I do, because I want to have my face melted, but and this filled the bill. But then you have people saying that it's uninspiring and the lyrics are cheesy and the songs are short and that Priest did so much better. I don't I'm missing something. I don't see it.
well, I think and I've talked about it before, but to me, the first album is cool for what it is. I think the second album is a lot better. I enjoy it a lot more.
Happy to hear that. Yeah.
It's just it's just meat and potatoes metal, right? It's
Yeah.
everything you want. It's nothing that we haven't heard before, but it's just done very, very well. The production is ferocious. Ripper sounds great, and the guitars are kick ass. And it's just, yeah, you're right, Jack. They're these short, heavy metal anthems done the way you want to hear them. It's like you're not going to get Shakespeare with the lyrics or anything,
No.
but it's metal. It's classic metal.
Yeah.
It's great.
Right.
Yeah, and the guy's over 70 years, KK's over 70. It's like, what do you expect more from
He
him?
knows how to do one thing.
If I could give him one little
That's what
suggestion,
we want, though. We want him to do what he does.
Yeah.
if I could give him one little suggestion, enough with the Priest references. No more songs about Judas Priest songs. So
It's not really needed. I agree with you. I agree.
yeah.
Do you guys know are they sharing any of the festival dates over the summer with coincidentally with Judas Priest or anything at any of these
No
European
idea.
places?
You would think it's
You
got to
know,
be inevitable at some point, right?
Yeah, that they would run into each other,
Yeah.
somewhere.
Because I mean, I don't know if you guys read, but after the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame appearance thing, they both camps have been like, yeah, but that's never happening again.
Yeah.
No interest.
And then their manager, Jane Andrews, basically said that KK was in over his head being there. I'm like, and this was right next to one of your short clips where you talk about hot sauces. So I responded, I'm like, things idiots say. Yeah.
Anyway,
Not about your hot sauce, the Jane Andrews comment, but
there you go. So if you watching and you get a chance, how many more dates do they have on this tour, guys? Anybody know?
tomorrow is it, I believe. Yeah, they had Patchogue, Long Island last night. Instead, I went to the show with you guys. And then there's one in Cheswick, Pennsylvania, somewhere
Oh,
in
yeah,
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's near me. But I
Uh,
obviously I opted to go out to hang out with you guys, but also
as did I, yeah.
that the Starland show is general admission. The show that's playing near me are it's a theater, so it's assigned seats.
Yeah,
Whereas,
March 24th is the last one in America, and then you're overseas.
right, but I thought I read somewhere where they said that there's going to be a second leg, which would be nice. I mean,
Got
who
it later in
knows?
the year.
Maybe after all the European festivals, if are done, they might come back more.
Cool.
And I would check it out again.
All right. Sounds
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. All right. Well, good show. And for those of you who have had, I know when I posted a bunch of things, pictures and things on Facebook, a lot of people had seen some of the recent shows. So if you're watching this and you've caught one of the recent KK Priest shows and everybody else, put your feedback and what you thought down in the comments below. And thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Lots of Judas Priest content have been floating around on this channel as well as Jack's channel, all or not according to Jack recently. So if you missed any of that stuff, just go back, do a little search Judas Priest, and you'll find all of it, right? So we've got album reviews and comparisons and album wars and all sorts of things Judas Priest related. Make your own
and live
compilation
concert
tape. What's
and
that?
live concert footage.
That's right. Then that too. So
Something new.
yeah. So go indulge in all the Judas Priest content of late, and we'll see you all soon here. Thanks for watching. For Jack Toledano, Craig Kaminski, and Rich Catino, I am Pardo. Good night, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Night all.